What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Anthony Sain Show, episode 100, man. It's a big one, man. They said we never would have made it, man. They said we never would have made it, Kenny Stubblefield.
We made it, man.
We are here live, man. I'm, of course, your host, Anthony Sain. Of course, way on the other side of the World Wide Web is my man, Kenny Stubblefield. My guy, we sat down and met at
what was that place?
Formosa.
Formosa, yes.
Yeah, on Kirby Parkway. Some of the best Asian food in the city to me, as well as some of the best soup in the city to me. If y'all want to throw some money at the show, y'all definitely can. If y'all are under the sign of
I want to take you back. I want to take you back to that day for a second.
All right, come on.
So Anthony and I have we say this all the time. We've known each other forever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we've known it before all this media shit, before any of this, we knew each other. And so a couple of guys from BCM had reached out to Anthony. And I said, hold up.
Like sit back on this.
Sit your Frodo back and looking ass down. Let me go take care of this real quick. Let me go handle this. So
I gotta feel the same way overlook you.
Yeah, Zane's looking over you. He ain't gonna see you, man. But you can see the bald spot. But we got to Formosa. I got there first. You were actually doing the Jason and John show.
Yep.
On the day that we right to come over and eat.
Mm-hmm.
And it was crazy because it was like we've seen some wild stuff in our life together, right? Like we've seen a lot of crazy stuff. Right before you get there, a car in the parking lot backs out of the car, like the guy leaves it in reverse.
Forgot about that.
Remember that? Leaves it in neutral.
Yep.
And his car just zooms out of the back of the parking lot, smashes into a bunch of cars. You come driving up, and I'm sitting there going, I don't know, bro. I don't know. But it was that to me was like that level of chaoticness. I was like, that seems typical, man. This is right for me and Anthony,
is gonna be. Yeah,
this is what this is.
And we sat down, had lunch, man. We talked out the details, ironed out the details. I was happy to be a part, not just because of the cool stuff that I saw Bluff City Media doing, but just because somebody I knew, and not just you, Mark King,
of course,
and Zach, of course, are familiar faces of mine, guys I do call friends or whatever. So, but you, well, I'm not, but you are someone I have a much more intimate relationship with. Like I said, we worked with inner city youth for years on top of years.
100%.
We were both young husbands together, young fathers together,
right?
Young men in Christ. You know what I mean? So we were all those things.
We've gone through a lot of different changes in our lives.
Almost kind of parallel. We've almost been going. Yeah, you're still married out here, so well, I'm no longer married. We both have children that are not quite teenagers yet.
Right.
So, man, it's just been exciting times. This show has been great. And it's kind of fitting, man, that for episode 100, the person I have for, I said I wasn't going to cry, Kenny Stubblefield, but the person I have for to sit down with Sain is another good friend of mine, Peter Edmiston. We did a show that went by two names over on Flynn Broadcasting. It was started off being Sports 56 Mornings, long-running show over there, a show that still exists over there. And then they moved us. They got our ass out of the morning time spot because, Jasper and them wasn't really feeling all this liberal stuff we were talking.
Casper the Friendly Ghost.
Yeah, and I found out I was a liberal. I found out many things about myself that I did not know until I started doing that show.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and so I did that show with Peter Edmiston. They moved us off of their morning spot. They moved us to the midday spot.
Yeah.
And we called the show Grind Time. And we called it that because of the Grizzlies, of course, Grind City. And of course, like that time is kind of like the middle of the day. Lunch is over. Just got a few more hours. We came on from 1 to 3. And me and Peter had that show. We had a great time, man. We were up against a lot of bullshit.
You and Peter were amazing, dude.
Yeah. We love doing the show together, man. And a lot of people, we were your favorite radio host for sure. Because everybody, I ain't gonna lie, it was people would come and tell me, man, I listen to you guys every day.
Right.
And, these are other hosts that would tell me this. In the morning, they would say, I catch you on the way to work, or I catch you after my show. You guys have a great show. And like I said, man, I hated the day that we had to end the show. But Peters went on to do other things, and I was just kind of cool, man. I didn't want to do anything. And I was, Peter isn't doing anything, broadcasting wise, and I wasn't looking forward to it either. But my good friend Jason Smith made me get off the bench. Got back on their show. I've been doing that every Friday. Still, while I'm doing this show, I come on and do a segment with them every Friday. And he just, Smith just kind of kept speaking things on me, like, bro, like you're supposed to be doing this. You have to do this, all that those type of things.
In that, not only did he speak it, but he also put it into action because y'all two did a podcast together for a while.
We started doing a podcast for a minute. Grind Season was a show me and him did.
That's a dope name, dude. I love it.
Yeah. We were doing that show with Odyssey, which is the parent company of of 92.9 FM here.
Right.
We were doing that show together. And then me and you sat down and talked, and we made the Anthony Sain show happen, man. Like I said, it's been great. We've had some great guests. Mayor Paul Young on the show. Coach Lionel Hollins was on the show last week. We've had the who's who in Memphis media, had national guests on as well. Just been a great run, man, for sure.
Well, Anthony, I want to stop you.
All right.
I'm going to take this over for a second.
Okay? All right, go ahead, bro.
You chill out for a second.
All
you
right.
said a few minutes ago you don't want to cry. And I'm not trying to make you cry here.
You know it don't take much, bro.
I'm not going to try to make you cry here.
Mm-hmm.
But we can sit here and we can reminisce about the show, the 100 shows, all that kind of stuff. But there's some other people that want to say something to you.
Oh, man, don't do it. Welcome to the first episode. Matter of fact, not even the first episode. This is episode 0 of the Anthony Sain Show. I am, of course, your host.
The one of one Sain Char himself, dude. You're the absolute best, man. Congrats on the 100th episode. Before I came over to BCM, I really didn't know you that well. I only knew you from Twitter, which most only really do. And I wasn't a big fan, but since I came over to BCM, dude, you embraced me as one of your own. And you are honestly what a Memphian is all about. You're brash. You're not scared to say exactly how you feel. And you always take care of your crew, man. So from me, I can't say thank you enough. But dude, congrats on the 100 episodes, and here's to many, many more.
Hey, Sain, GP here. Just wanted to say congrats on your 100th show, man. It's been a lot of fun getting to know you over the years and watching you emerge in this industry. The Memphis market had, for a long time, needed some more interesting and fresh voices, and you are undeniably one of them now. So congrats again, brother. I'm really happy for you, and I can't wait to see you again real soon.
Sain. What can I say, man? 100 episodes. That's big. So, man, just huge congrats. Appreciate you for being integral in my part and getting to the sports media realm and just making me even just a part of the show, right? Allowing me to become one of the first guests and become a recurring guest and part of the legit part of the show. So salute to you. 100 episodes is big time. Making it past 1 year is big. And my here's cheers to 100 more.
Hey, Anthony, it's Fish. Just living the life of a pop star. Well, with kids. Congratulations on episode number 100. Proud of you, man. Happy for you. And you better keep going because we're catching you. We're on 89, so we're right behind. Keep up the good work, buddy. And congratulations on episode 100 from one pop star to another.
Yes, sir.
My God, congratulations on 100 episodes, man. Long time coming, but not really.
That ain't shit,
You're cranking these things out twice a week, bro, and I know how hard you work with everything you put into this thing. Appreciate what you do, man. Keep leading from the front because you already know people watching. And, man, just keep doing your thing, brother. It's the most entertaining show in this thing. You don't know if you're going to get a wrestler get knocked out. You don't know if you're going to have a mayor, the president, an R&B singer, a rapper. You don't know who's going to be on this thing next. So keep doing your thing, bro. Proud of you. Salute to you. And we're going to be watching to see what's coming next, man. Shout out to you.
Hey, Sain, what's up, man? Congrats on 100 shows. You're a valuable piece and a valuable asset in addition to the Memphis media landscape. You know, you keep it real, you keep it authentic, and that's exactly what we need more of in media every day, man. So congrats, keep doing you. Appreciate all your contributions, man, and looking forward to the future.
Anthony, congratulations on your 100th show, a show that is somehow better than the greatest sports show to never exist, The Minority Report. If you know, you know. Thank you for being one of the best, funniest, most chaotically unhinged sports voices in this city. And here's to your next 100.
Congratulations, Brother Sain, on 100 episodes of the Anthony Sain Show. That is nothing to sneeze at, brother, in this business. You have proven you are in it for the long haul. You have kicked in the door. There is nothing more Memphis mainstream media than Anthony Sain. And that is a credit to you, my brother. It is a credit to how you have never taken no for an answer. And you have always, you are the epitome of grit and grind. And you've earned it, brother. You have earned it. And I'm so glad that you're finally getting your flowers now. No question about it. I used to believe you were a straight hater. Straight hate. Going back to the Cooper Young Fest.
Yeah, man.
When I didn't know you from Adam, and you gonna sit up here and tell me I look skinny and malnourished. My wife standing right beside me. I said, who does this brother think he is? Little did I know, you were just calling it like you always do.
Oh, man.
Like it is. Congratulations to your brother Sain, again on 100 episodes. That's my wife here at the end interrupting it. You have a fantastic day, brother. I'm proud of you.
Man, appreciate you, man.
This goes out to my main Anthony Sain. Jarvo here, brother. I want to tell you, I am so proud of you. You came up the hard way. You went through the struggle. You went through the strife. You did it your own way. Guys like myself, you know, we went through the school thing, and it's tough enough that way, but you had to do it yourself. You had to make yourself and bake your own way. And I am so proud, and I'm here to say that, man, just keep on going, my brother. Young brother doing things right, doing it the right way, carving your own niche out in life. 100th episode, congratulations. 100,000 more for you, brother. The world is your oyster, and I want you to do it, man. Go on and do it up, Sain. You the main. Jarvo out.
Got to. Yeah, Kenny, you ain't shit, bro. I just want to let you know that. Used to be my homie, used to be my age, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man.
You know the rest of it. Oh, man, it was great, bro. I appreciate you doing it, man. Yeah, thanks to everybody who had those things to say about me for sure. And the whole story about Jason Smith is so funny, man, because I was running a parody account on Twitter.
Yeah.
Right. That a mutual friend of ours ended up assuming that account. And he was using that account to be petty. And he was taking shots at Jason. And when Jason thought it was me doing it because he thought it was me doing the whole time. So Jason thought I felt the way about it. So when I saw him out one time and I cracked a joke on him, it hit different because he thought I was the dude that was trolling him on Twitter the whole time. Yeah.
But yeah, he told me the story behind the scenes. And, and I was like, that man said that to you? I was like, that's fighting words, bro.
Yeah.
And he was like, but I'll be honest with you, I don't want to put his whole business out there. He was like, that statement, what he said to me, opened my eyes to some health things that I needed to get figured out. And so I don't know if you even know that, but he was like, yeah, man, he kept it real with me, and he was right. He was 100% right. I needed to take care of
that for no reason, but because Jason's always been a dude I looked at as bro, you literally had like all my heroes in this shit, all my bro, hey man, go to break, man. Give me a minute to get my shit together, bro. When we come back, my man Peter Edmiston is gonna join us for sit down with Sain for sure. He on the Anthony Sain show. Y'all got me up here looking all swollen in the face, man. We'll see you in a minute on the Anthony Sain show. We'll be right back.
This has turned into unrealistic expectations for teams. Not every team is ready to win a championship. There are steps you got to take to put yourself in position to win it. And I thought that what they had done in Cleveland had become a team that was muddled in nothing. And JB, I thought they created a little bit of a culture. You were able to find a star player. I think it's tough. I go back to what happened with Adrian Griffin in Milwaukee. I mean, you got the second best record in the NBA, and they say, well, we don't know if you're the one to get us over the top. Yeah, but the guy you bring in is only 5-6 games over 500 from that point on. You would hope that realistic expectations start to come back into the fold, other than these unrealistic things that it's going to happen. Winning a championship happens just like that, because it doesn't happen in that way at all.
Tune in to the Night Court podcast with your hosts, Rob Fisher and Brevin Knight, on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
You saw the Trinity Carter cheap shot that Caitlin Clark took.
It happens 25 times a game in the NBA. What are we talking about?
That?
Not that.
That wasn't a basketball play at all. Flagrant.
She hip checked
and then also you have like Angel Reese after the game, she stood up off the bench when Trinity Carter did that and started clapping. Then she didn't own it after the game. I'm not saying they have to kiss her ass.
What does that have to do with the play on the court?
What I am saying is there's a ridiculous amount of jealousy and hate to Caitlin Clark, and it's obvious, and I'm tired of the sanctimony about it. I really am. Because I feel like there's a lot of media members that try to act like there's not, and it's so apparent.
I agree. I mean, I agree with Gabe on it.
Crazy. Y'all are crazy. I could expect this from Christian Fowler, okay? The little bleeding heart liberal that he is. But you as
I call it how it is, Kenny. I pride myself on it.
As a former D1 athlete, a pro football player, to sit here and pretend like physical play on the court is them hating on her is insanity.
But it's the words they use off the court too, Kenny.
Tune into On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 12 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
What's going on, everybody? Oh, man. Oh, man.
Yeah!
Got my Red Bull with me.
Look at that.
There it is.
There it is. Man, it's already an emotional show, man. I don't know.
Oh, man.
Now we got the reunion. Oh, this is
oh, man.
Too much, man. It's too much.
Yeah, man, too much. I'm sitting here every morning, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. I was grabbing one of these before we went to the studio. And I got my man, Peter Edmiston, who I did two shows. I already talked about this earlier. Sport, yeah, you have something like that going on. Sports 56 morning as well as Grind Time on the Flynn Networks on Sports 56. My man Kenny Stubblefield already got me crying, got me emotional. And I got my guy here for the sit down with Sain, Peter Edmiston. People been in my DM for probably a year. Man, when you gonna get Peter on? I said, hey, Peter doing his thing, man. I'm gonna get Peter on with his time. I said, Ken, I gotta get my boy for episode 100, man. So Peter, I appreciate you coming on, man. You my guy. You already know what's up. We did this. We fought many wars with each other, against each other, and against everybody else too. Goddamn it, to be the best in the business, man. My man is on here with me again. All right, Peter, let's go ahead and get into it, man.
Well, hold on. Don't go in. Don't wait just 1 second. Hold on.
All right.
Stop. I gotta give you your flowers, man. I've been out of the game, as you said, for a while. You have talked to me, Kenny's talked to me. Lots of folks have asked me about coming on, doing this, that, and the other, and I mostly respectfully decline because I'm just kind of I'm transitioning out. I'm still watching. I'm still kind of following for sure. I'm still watching everything. I'm still consuming the content, but I'm now a consumer rather than a creator. But for episode 100 and for what you've been doing, and just to kind of honor your contributions and your story, because I respect your grind. I respect your hustle. I respect how hard you've worked to make this thing happen. All joking aside, because I am going to bust your balls here later on, but for now I'll be sincere. You are a good friend. You're a good person, and I really appreciate what you've been able to do, really clawing and scratching the whole way to make it happen. So I of course, when you asked me to come on episode 100, now I will happily drop my self-imposed exile to come out and congratulate you. So
man,
before we get into all the silly stuff and all that I assume we're going to do, I do want to be serious and just say congratulations. I love you. I'm proud of you. You're a great guy, and couldn't be happier for you.
Man, thank you, brother. I'm glad I got you off the bench, man. We always would make wrestling references. You've definitely been like Sting off in the Raptors for the last few years. We know you looking, man. You'll drop in with the bat every now and again, and just swing on somebody with that joint, and you'll go right back up, the drop line to back to the Raptors, man.
That's right.
But I got my boy on here with me, man. I'm excited, bro. I'm excited for sure, man. You've been one of the great voices as far as the Memphis Grizzlies are concerned. Back when nobody was covering the team, Peter Edmiston was covering your Memphis Grizzlies in the locker rooms, at press conferences, all those type of things. One of the true OGs in this. I remember my first Memphis sports radio show I listened to was a very young Peter Edmiston. We're about the same age. I think we're like a few weeks apart. Very young Peter Edmiston was doing the show on Sports 56. And like I said, it was the first Memphis sports radio show I'd ever listened to. and I just listened to you doing your thing, and I never thought we'd be doing this together. But once we started doing it, man, we had an amazing show, man. Like I said, it was us against the world.
Well, it was funny too because you thought of me differently, I think, than when before you got to know me. You kind of you had one perception of
nerd
what I was going to be like, and then the truth is a little bit different, which is cool because man, look, the thing that I always enjoyed about doing the show with you and my whole, the whole reason that I love doing radio and I love doing the show was to be real. Like I don't like all there's so much fake
you can curse, bro.
People exaggerating stuff, people making stuff up, people acting like somebody that they're not. And I never have any interest in that, man.
No.
You are the same guy off mic as you are on mic. Now, you might plug up and kind of, amp it up,
yeah,
level and all that, but like it's essentially the same person. Now the same way, like, there's no, it's what it is. And like, you want to be authentic and real with people. And I always value that when I watch shows. I always value that when I consume stuff. And that's what it's supposed to be, man. So I always thought we did a good job of that. And I want like, the next generation and what everybody's doing, Bluff City Media is doing a great job of like, man, look, this is, these are authentic dudes being authentic. And that's the kind of stuff that I think is worth watching.
Yeah, man, for sure, man. Always been the same way with you, man. But yeah, man, let's get out of this mush fest, man, and talk about the goddamn Grizzlies.
That's enough. That's enough.
Enough of this nonsense.
That's enough.
It's something else, Peter, we were definitely known for. I still think we had this crown, man. I think we were the two best vocalists easily in the city of Memphis, man.
Not even.
CJ and Jessica thought they could rock with us, man. They were dodging that karaoke contest for so long. We may still have to get that going. Just get on the.
I ran into them. I was at that thing that Starry did with like Tony Allen and
yeah.
Although I ran to CJ and Jessica, and they still didn't want any smoke. I said, come on, let's sing a little bit. Get on that mic. Let's go up there. Let's shoot some hoops. Let's sing. They didn't want any. They don't have the chops. They don't have it.
Can nobody rock with us, man? Because we could take you with the yacht rock or whatever you wanted to do, man. And I do music trivia around the city, man. Hey, when the Beach Boys and all that kind of stuff come on, they can't see me out there, man, for sure, man. But yeah, Peter, like I said, you've always been a huge voice of the Memphis Grizzlies, right? The off season, something that you said one time that I'll always remember. You were kind of critical of Grizzlies general manager Zach Kleiman before it was cool, you know what I mean? So before it was in vogue, criticized, and it was always fair criticism. But you said something back then that I was like, Peter, what are you talking about? Like, why would you say that? And I'm seeing it now, and I think we're at that place now. I think you were a little bit ahead of it then, but right now I think we're here. And something you said was that it's easier to take a team from being a horrible team to being a good team, where you can just make competent decisions. You get a little luck with John Morant. You take that with a guy in Jaren Jackson Jr. You identify Desmond Bain. You go aggressively go get a Brandon Clark. It's easy that part is relatively easy if you're competent, right? But you said there's a whole nother level to take a team from being that to being a true contender. At the time, it felt premature, but we're here now. You know what I mean? This is the summer. This is the offseason where Zach Kleiman has to show that he's that guy. Like, we're in a new NBA right now where you see.
No, hey, listen, and I mean, the thing is, I always compared it to like if you're playing golf, like to go from being a horrible golfer to being like a decent golfer is like you can do that. It's not that hard. It takes some work and all that, but like to go from being like a decent golfer to like actually like maybe competing for anything or being on a tournament or something, like it's so much harder. And you're only talking about like 2 or 3 strokes. Like you're not talking about a huge difference, but that is an enormous challenge to be able to do that. And for the Grizzlies, you go back to when we were talking about that. I believe that was, in the draft, Zaire Williams, trading up and making that move. You saw then kind of reaching and starting to take your eye off of the real template that got you to where you are. You started to this guy's a long wing. This guy, he could maybe do something, but he's, mentally he doesn't meet the criteria, just in terms of the kind of dude that you want. does this guy have the makeup? Does he have the DNA to be the kind of person you want to be? Mm-hmm. The answer is no. And I think you could see that even at the time. And you can definitely see that now in hindsight. Not that he's not talented, but it's not about talent. There's thousands of really talented players, but there's only, a small percentage of them that make it to the NBA because it requires mental fortitude. It requires a certain amount of dedication, a certain amount of mental acuity, awareness, whatever you want to call it. And the Grizzlies were great at finding those guys. Mm-hmm. They found those guys in lots of different places, but somewhere along the way, they kind of stopped that. Somewhere along the way, that isn't the focal point, or they lost what was the identity of the team. And so you've seen now bring it, and I think maybe that's changing, maybe a Gigi Jackson kind of changes that. Maybe Vince Williams changes that a little bit, but there was that intervening period between, 21 and last off season where it's pretty bereft. Laravia is not getting, Santi Aldama's okay-ish, I guess.
David Ryder's not here anymore. Yeah.
But you're talking about and that's the difference. And it's the same thing the Thunder's going to face. It's the same thing that a lot of teams have to deal with. How do you turn a very good team into a great team? How do you make those moves that make that work? And I mean, look at the Mavericks this year, a team that's been floundering for a long time. They were aggressive with moves. I mean, the PJ Washington move was brilliant. The Kyrie Irving move, look, man, hey, I'm dead wrong about Kyrie, man. He's changed. Man,
who are you saying?
He's turned into, the absolute best version of what Kyrie could be.
Yep.
You got to take those risks as a team like the Mavs. You got to do that. And you got to hope they pay off. And this Grizzlies team we've never really seen them make that kind of a big swing.
Right.
You could argue Marcus Smart was a little swing, maybe but they've never really put a lot of chips in and pushed that boat in and said, let's go. At some point they're gonna have to do that. And that's gonna be the mark of whether Zach Kleiman is just a good, solid, talent finding, talent acquisition type guy, or is he a true strategic GM? We'll find out.
Yeah. Because even going back to that season where you had your worries and we saw how that manifested in 21-22, you look at just like not just Desire Williams' pick, but the entire strategy going into that draft. We know that they had their mind set on guys like a Josh Giddey or guys like probably even more so can't think of his name. Hey, he should ain't never changed.
Since my favorite part of the show is where Sain forgets a name.
Favorite people's names.
Incredible. Every
Orlando Magic, man. The wing. Shit, man. I hate myself so bad that I can't remember.
You're talking about Franz Wagner?
Franz Wagner, right. Yeah. Thank you, Kenny Stubblefield. Franz Wagner, right? We know that you want either Franz Wagner or Josh Giddey. Those were his guys.
I want to take everybody in just real quick. I always have the internal debate when Sain does this of whether I should help him or whether I should just kind of watch and see what happens.
Just let me flounder, bro.
It's always tough. I was like, I can never quite figure out whether I want to help or not. But
and then Kenny says,
Kenny's nicer than me.
Kenny says we did this last show too. Now we do this every
show. We're going to do it every show.
But it was Franz Wagner again. It was the exact same name. But anyway, like I said, the point I'm trying to make is, you moved up to 10, right? You moved up from whatever you were, 19 to 10 or whatever, right? 21 to 10, wherever you were in the draft. But you just didn't move up high enough, right? You kind of moved up I'll get here and hopefully our guy drops. No, you got to, real GMs know, if I want that dude, I need to get to 5. I need to get to 6 or whatever. So like I said, that's something that an older GM knows. And then when you know those type of things, Peter, when you hear news like the Grizzlies want Klingon and these type of things, how serious do you take those type of moves? And do you think that Zach Kleiman will do what it takes to get a guy like Klingon if that's what he really wants to do?
Well, I mean, I hope that he's learned from that experience, about don't do half measures. I mean, because now you look in Trey Murphy, the player that was picked at the Grizzlies at 17. I mean, would they trade Trey Murphy straight up for Zaire Williams? No.
No.
You wouldn't do that now. So
5 of them.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, there's that was a miscalculation and a reach on a guy's raw potential, but not really talent. Now, if you've identified Klingon, and I think Klingon, man, look, I'm not wild about drafting for need. So if you want to, you need a center. Okay, well, there's ways to get a center. If you have just an unbelievable talent at a certain position, you take that person no matter what. But for the Grizzlies, I do think that he does fit absolutely like a glove into what they would want to do. And you put him alongside Jaren, and you put him in that group, and all of a sudden, he ups you tremendously. Taylor Jenkins is in the system that they've run traditionally defensively. I think he'd fit beautifully in that. He's a good defensive coach. I mean, offensively, we're going to see Grizzlies have a lot of work to do to improve there, but I think he fits great. Is he worth? I mean, it depends on what the price tag is to trade you. You trade up to Houston at 3. How much does it cost you to do that? That's been the kind of the sort of the rumor-ish out there. But I'll be honest, man. Look at these mocks, man. The mocks are, I've never seen a draft where the mocks are this wild. You've got, I saw a mock yesterday where you've got Ron Holland going 1, and I see a mock where he's at 15. Like, I've never seen a dude that can go from one day to the other, be in the lottery at the top, and then completely out of the lottery with the different. I've never seen anything like that. So, I don't know if you can say for absolute certain that Klingon is you got to go all the way up to 3 to get Klingon. Maybe you can get to 7 and get Klingon. Yeah. I don't think anybody 4 through 6 is going to be taken to center. This is a really tough one, man. This is a really, really tough one. And you're going to have to kind of see how the draft falls, how things go in the days intervening leading up to the draft. But one thing we do know is that if you look at Zach Kleiman's track record, pretty much every time he's wanted somebody, he has traded up to go get them. Mm-hmm. Whether that be a few spots, like Desmond Bain, you traded just a couple spots, or whether that be, Zaire Williams, where you moved back into the lottery. You can go up and down the list. In the second round, he's moved up to go get his guys. Virtually every guy that they've picked, he's moved up to go get. So, betting that he's going to move up in the draft to go get Klingon, if Klingon's his guy, I think it's pretty much a safe bet. It's just a matter of how much and how far does he think he has to go.
For those of you who have never seen the shows that me and Peter did in the past, something that Peter is definitely a specialist in is international scouting of prospects. And I know in this particular draft, Peter, I know you've just been hot and bothered.
Hey, man, take them back to when I was at your house. You, Cam, and you guys were just grilling me on Lucas. Oh, Lucas going to be this. Lucas going to suck. He's going to be this. I don't think I still got my apologies.
It's my wheelhouse. Yeah. Hey.
I said Lucas. I said he's gonna be. I think he's gonna be James Harden. But you're like
James Harden.
Your response. You're so stupid. What? Oh, I see. Just because he's a white European.
White dude. White.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah. Who's laughing now?
Yeah, they're looking like white Michael Jordan.
Exactly. He's like not as fat white James Harden. And that's what he's doing. Come on, I think guy's phenomenal. Anyway, I'll take that apology whenever you want. I don't know if you done. Kenny, has he done? He's had 100 shows.
Your international man of mystery self, man. I didn't realize. Hey, I apologize. I was not familiar with your game.
Man. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
It's a lot of dudes. Since you got out the game, man, it's a lot of dudes out here, in the Grizz world thinking they you, man. My boy Chip Williams. The Bluff City Media draft analyst, bro. He thinks he's an international dude that can break down. Not like Peter Evans.
Hey, listen, hey, man,
you called all of them, bro. Every one of them that's cold, you called them for sure.
Back in the day, man. Come on,
Giannis,
and everyone that's not gonna be cold. Because not everyone.
Yep. You called all of them,
man. But look, this year is the same thing. This is a wild group, man. I do not envy GMs in this one at all. No. Honestly, there's so many ways this thing could go. Mm-hmm. Like in terms of where do you think a guy's value is? And then this year more than others, you're going to have to really do a good job of scouting your other teams around you and figuring out what does their board actually look like? Because, man, there's going to be so much smoke. The amount of absolute garbage that's going to come out with all these different reports from Woj and Shams and Kevin O'Connor and whoever else, it's going to be stupid because there's going to be a million folks connected to teams that are trying to bluff their way into and out of draft.
Yeah.
So now it's like, what does your scouting system look like for your opposition? What does your scouting system look like? Who's going to be your James Bond that's going to sneak into the practice facility of the, let's say, Houston Rockets and take a look at their draft board? Who's going to look at the Spurs? They're sitting there with 4 and 8 That's directly responsible for what you got to deal with. Who's going to sneak in there and get in? Does Taylor Jenkins still have a key to that facility? You're going to be able to get in there and make it happen, because that's where you're going to really be able to tell what you have to do. Because, man, look, I can make a case for 10 different guys probably that would be possibly available for the Grizzlies at 9, and why you might take them or might. I've never seen anything quite.
It's
like
wild,
this.
man. It's wild. And then you look at guys who, and it seems like the Grizzlies are kind of like in a sweet spot at 9, where it's like you literally can draft wherever you want. If you want to pull up Kelly Ware, why not? You want to do Zach Edey at 9. The Grizzlies are kind of in a sweet spot at that number 9 spot, where they can just they can pull up any guy. They can pull a guy up out of range or whatever. But yeah, like I said, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be wild. Got about 19 more days to go into the draft. As far as that's concerned, you mentioned Taylor Jenkins in your last response. He's a guy who he's got credentials here. He's done a lot of things here as the coach of the Grizzlies. But he's another guy where you have to be honest and ask the question: is he the guy that can take this team to the next level, from being a good team to a championship level team? Where does your confidence sit with him? Because we haven't had a conversation about him in years. So what are your thoughts on Taylor Jenkins? Is he the guy that can take this team to that championship level?
Yeah, I've seen the various reports and rumors and all that talking about Taylor Jenkins being on the hot seat or whatever. Man, every NBA coach is on the hot seat. Every NBA coach is on the hot seat as soon as they sign up. That's this. If you look around the league, I mean, look, what are we dealing with here? Yeah. I mean, look at Frank Vogel in Phoenix, grand opening, grand closing. Like, it's you don't get it done. That's
JJ Redick, hired and fired immediately.
Exactly, hired and fired, and a guy that has a pretty long and pretty spotless resume compared to a lot of people out there. He's 1 year and he's gone. So hell yes, Taylor Jenkins is on the hot seat.
Yeah, and
he knows that. There's nobody is just thinking otherwise. The question is, what is going to have to happen? How's this allocation of talent in the assistant coaching ranks? How's that going to work out? Who, when, why? I don't think you can, take a lot from, their hire already. I don't think you can necessarily assume they're going to be making massive wholesale changes in terms of their culture, but I do think they're going to make some changes from an X's and O's perspective. The thing that Taylor Jenkins has always done, I think, if you look around the league, and you and I have talked about this a lot, and I think anybody that's listened to me over the years knows my thoughts on NBA coaches in general. I've said, man, look, at the end of the day, there's not a huge amount of difference between a lot of coaches. They all know X's and O's. They all have stuff that they like to run. Everyone kind of knows each other's stuff. They're all competent in terms of their planning and how things go. It's about how do you work with the players, because you are a CEO. You are a CEO. It's not even really about, being able to game plan all that. Your assistant coaches do a huge amount of your game planning, your advanced scouting, your X's and O's work. Your coaches really help you with that. But this is about how do you structure the big picture of this team? How do you get the most out of these guys? And the Grizzlies, have had a track record of being able to extract maximum talent out of guys when they've really bought in. And again, I think it's very important to make this distinction. Players that have come in that have the right mentality, the Grizzlies haven't reached for, talent or whatever over the mentality. When you bring in guys that have the right mindset, like a G.G. Jackson, like Vince Williams, they have excelled in this system. And I think Taylor Jenkins deserves credit for the ability to formulate a group of rules, of identities, of culture that everyone buys into. The players, if you talk to players down to whoever, they ride for this guy. They believe in this guy. That you can't say that about a lot of coaches. A lot of players, they might like the coach's X's and O's, but they don't like talking to the coach. Well, at the end of the day, you got to spend 2/3 of your year with this person talking to you every day. If you don't like them, that's going to have an impact, and you better be able to make up for that somewhere else. I think Taylor Jenkins does a great job of relationship building and dealing with folks. And I know it wasn't easy for him to cut ties, but I also know that he has no problem having hard conversations with those guys and with with his assistant coaches. And I think he holds them to a high standard, and he holds himself to a high standard. Again, I'm a bigger believer in the culture piece than everything else. I think the X's and O's will work themselves out most of the time. That culture is valuable, and I think they've built it. They just have to believe in it and get guys that actually focus and apply themselves to that culture rather than trying to adapt dudes that aren't necessarily adaptable and trying to make them fit. It was never going to work with a guy like Zaire. I hate to bring up Zaire so much, but like it was never going to work with a guy like that. And I think in the draft, same thing. Find the dude that you think fits that mentality. That's why a guy like like Rob Dillingham, I could talk myself into him. I know he's little, but man, that dude, I love the mindset. I love the way he plays. I love the way he approaches, and I think a guy like Taylor Jenkins would get the most out of him. That's why I think Taylor Jenkins deserves to stick around. Now, if the Grizzlies put up another bottom 5 offense and look like garbage, and especially if guys are healthy, then he's going to be gone, and rightfully so. But I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah. Another person that you said in my living room and you said that you had high praise for, and I mocked you again, Peter Edmiston, was Jaren Jackson Jr. He's a guy who's became my favorite player in the entire league since then. This is I guess you could say it's a pivotal year for Jaren, especially when it seems like the Grizzlies is going to use him at the 5 probably more in his career, whether he starts or not. And just the expectation for the Grizzlies to be a really good team. We've always said that, Jaren has to be that X factor that's just the trump card that you can pull out on teams where you got this 7-foot versatile forward who can get to the basket, block shots, defend, knock down shots a little bit from 3, all these different things. What type of year are you expecting realistically from Jaren? And is he a guy who can be a guy who can go from maybe 5.5, 6 rebounds a game to maybe 8, 8.5 rebounds a game?
See, I don't worry so much about his rebounds. I mean, I think they'll come. That's never been a focus for me. But I think you look last year, and it was in many ways it's going to be a pivotal year because he made a lot of progress offensively and doing stuff that he's never been asked to do and would never ordinarily be asked to do. But because, 2/3 of his teammates are injured, he's got to do all kinds of different things.
Right.
I looked up the numbers because I was curious before I jumped on with you. Jaren last year, there were only 10 guys in the whole league who had a higher usage rate than Jaren last year. Jaren's usage rate was over 30%, which is and the guys that had higher are all the stars you would expect.
Mega stars of the league.
Your Steph Curry's, Wembanyama had a huge one. Donovan Mitchell, guys that carry a massive load, and then Jaren Jackson Jr., who is never ever had to do anything like that. Never close. So
and mostly it's not assist either. Like that usage rate is heavy on taking the shot and not.
Yeah, I mean he's taking. And now he did improve his passing. He did have a few more assists. He did make some decent looks. But yeah, he's asked to do that, and that affected him on the defensive end because he was not nearly as impactful defensively. Now a lot of that is just the personnel also. But I mean, just in terms of you can't ask him to do 30% usage on offense and then go and be a dominant defensive player. That's too much for him. So are you going to waste what you were forced to do with Jaren and just crammed usage down his man, just go drive the basket, drive over. You saw those games where he was jacking up shots. He would miss 8 in a row and just keep jacking them up. Yeah. I loved it because that's teaching him how to push himself past his breaking point.
What he thought his breaking point.
It didn't matter last year. Who cares? Like you lost a game, great, whatever. Who cares? Like you're going to lose a bunch of games. Are you going to use that to actually propel you into better offense when it matters? Are you going to use that to have learned those skills that you're going to need to be the next level versatile guy that he can be? Absolutely. I think if he does that, if he takes those lessons and then just refines his shot output a little bit, man, he's going to be the best version of Jaren. And if you put him alongside a Klingon, I don't know about a Zach Edey. I'm not real wild about that. Some people are talking themselves into him. I don't know. But if you put him alongside a bigger dude, and Jaren can get back to being more of a roamer, weak side shot blocker, that kind of thing, rather than having to be a physical 5 defender, I think you're going to see a massive improvement all the way across the board. I don't ever doubt, man. Look, I don't ever doubt Jaren. Jaren's mindset. He's a smart dude. He's a professional guy. I know he sometimes he acts like a goofy kid. I know his rapping is trash, basically. But that I don't care. Is he released anything lately? Did I miss Trip J?
Oh, he dropped a whole other album last year. It just kind of slid. I think it was like his 3rd project. It was,
Are we telling him to stop? Is that? Can we?
Oh no, he got Brandon Clark rapping now, man. And shout out to T Trenton. Shout out to T Trenton.
The transition of Brandon Clark into whatever he's turned into is hilarious and great. But anyway, Jaren, man, I don't doubt Jaren, and he's a pro, and I think he's going to be phenomenal. And man, look, the last thing on Jaren, whatever we say about Zach Kleiman and this draft, the contract that they signed, that Jaren signed, is a steal, like beyond a steal.
Yeah,
like it actually it goes down in value when the cap is going up. So as a percentage of the cap, it is a significant downgrade in terms of the amount that he's spending. That's a phenomenal job right there, and that's going to be able to give the Grizzlies maybe a little bit of that extra flexibility they're going to need to do an extra transaction or two.
Yeah, for sure. Well, man, I tell you what, Peter, about to go to break, man. Hey, back in the day when we were doing our show, man, there were certain subjects that just, oh man, this would be my boy Wheelhouse. We got some Wheelhouse shit that's going on in the world of sports, man. It's so much stuff, bro. I think about like, damn, I wish I was rocking with Peter right now, bro.
I know.
All this shit. Yeah. But man, we're about to take a break, man. You say you're gonna rock with me some more, man. So when we come back, you're gonna get more of my guy Peter Edmiston here on the Anthony Sain Show. See you guys in a minute.
When we think about Jaren playing center, we automatically, in Grizzlies land, we think of, the Marc Gasol and Zebo days. We think of Jonas Valanciunas. We think of, Steven Adams. And the truth is, Jaren at center wouldn't look like any of those guys. Once you accept that point, you realize how realistic it is. It'll look different. It would look different. But there are other ways where, not just the negative side of it looking different. It'll look different in a positive way too. Having a true stretch 5 who can put the ball on the floor.
What do you think the reason why Jaren has issues with his rebounding?
The scheme thing is, to me, it's a cover up. Like, and it's just being real. Like, we on the No Bluffing podcast right now, so we got to keep it real.
Capping. We ain't capping.
Yeah, we got to keep it real, man. So it's want to, it's will.
Tune into the No Bluffing podcast with your hosts Christian Ingram and Evan Hayes every Monday at 12 p.m. only on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
We're looking at making sure that the Grizzlies are top 5 in either offense or defense. So how do you get a team like that there? What are your must-haves to be a real title contender? So give me one.
Health.
Okay.
I think it's like, it goes like a little bit sort of in the cliche obvious department. You got to be healthy, which we saw like the direct results of what happens when you're not this year, right? Like It was a mess in 100 different ways. So there you go. Number 1. I've got plenty more loaded for you.
All right. Mine is going to be good kitty. No, I'm kidding.
First off,
bad kitty.
Pause. Pause.
Come hang out with Daniel Greer and Nathan Qualls on Grizz 901 Live. Every Tuesday night at 9:01 live on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
What's going on, y'all? Back to
real quick. Let me do something real quick. Hold on. I know this is StreamYard. I'm gonna make it look awkward. Boom.
There it is.
And then Boom.
Hey, boy in the middle. Boy in the middle.
We playing
like a wee
It's like
man.
Hollywood Squares, man. Come
We're
on.
playing hot potato over here.
Yeah, man.
Let's go.
Hey, honestly, can I just be quick? I feel
Go
like
ahead.
I feel like I'm eavesdropping on a really cool conversation right now. So I'm just gonna sit over here and just do this the whole time.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna need you in a minute, man, for this Tiger basketball stuff. So hang tight, for sure.
I'll
All right,
put on-
y'all. This is the 3-pointer where we talk about 3 things going on in the world of sports. Got my man Peter with me, man. Some of this stuff, some good old stuff that got to do with race. I had to get my boy. All right, Peter, you want that stuff? I got some more in the last segment too. So you want to do that? You want to do that now, or you want to hold on?
Hey man, listen. This is your show, man. This is.
Hey, I tell you what, man. I'm gonna say the best for last, man. You know, I get excited when we get started talking about race, man. So let's say the best for last. Let's start talking about this. The biggest news of the day: Dan Hurley has been identified as the Los Angeles Lakers top candidate for their job. So much wild shit, man. It seems like it's some media pettiness going on as well between Shams Charania and Woj for sure. Of course, Shams is leaning heavy that JJ Redick was pending, like that was about to happen. They're about to hire JJ Redick, right? And we wake up at 6:00 in the morning, and Woj just saying that it's been Agatha all along, right? Shout out to my Marvel people, but saying that it was Dan Hurley this entire time that the Lakers have had at the top of the list, which sounds like bullshit. It sounds like they had him. He showed no feedback that he was interested, and all of a sudden he might have wanted to get back into the game. And now he sits, here on top of the pile or whatever. But I've got my jokes off about it because Dan Hurley's known as a developmental coach, right? He's known as a guy who has recruited guys and even made them better than top recruits and made them even better than what they, were built to be, right? So, and I'm like, okay, how does that relate to 40-year-old LeBron James, right? I'm like, who is he developing? Bronny and some bums? Like, what is he doing? Like, who are you developing, man? So
Max Christie.
Jack Kleiman's kid. Bro, the jokes me and Peter could have had when Max Christie was in the draft looking like Zach Kleiman's son. Like the jokes we could have got off about.
Oh, incredible. He does. That's exactly right.
Man. But yeah, so like, what are you doing? Like, who are you developing? Christian Wood? Like, what are we talking about?
Why are the Lakers being so weird?
It's so strange, bro.
It's a weird organization, man. And it's funny because like we think of the Lakers and they have this, huge outsized profile, Lakers, like all this stuff. And obviously like on the tip of everybody's tongue. Mm-hmm. But the truth is, man, it's a weird family-owned, bus-run operation.
Mom and Papa had an NBA team.
Jerry Buss ran it for a while. Now it's Jeannie Buss, and they got a kind of a small group. And obviously Rob Pelinka and the connections that he's had over the years. That's always kind of you've sort of seen that kind of insinuate itself into their discussions. So they tend to just kind of have a weird process. Their process is weird all the way around. I don't know if Shams is being worked, if Woj is being worked, if we're being worked. I don't know. But I know that if those are the two candidates, that's a weird 1-2. Yeah. Like those are two diametrically opposed guys. Like JJ Redick, I don't have a clue whether he could coach or not. Why would you want to entrust an NBA team
to a podcaster?
Exactly. I mean, they should hire you. That's a much better. I've heard your ideas.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Why would you do that?
I'll be your assistant coach.
I got you.
Yeah, y'all. I mean, that to me makes as much sense as JJ Redick, like because he does a podcast with LeBron and other guys. Like, I mean,
he's a smart dude.
He knows basketball, but
he's smart.
Lots of players know basketball.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, lots of dudes out there that are smart, and lots of dudes can talk it. Like, so
the Lakers hired Strawn from the barbershop to Wardell from
Garrett Temple is going to be the new coach. Like, what are you talking? Like, what? No, why? What's happening out here? No, I mean, like Bo Outlaw? Like, where are we going? What are we doing? But then you have Dan Hurley, who, like, I mean, obviously, like the success of Connecticut is incredible, and what he's done last 2 years, amazing. He does run great stuff. He's a really good X's and O's coach, but he's also a hothead.
Yeah.
He's a freaking maniac. This dude has a temper that is outrageous.
It's legendary.
How's that going to go over in a locker room full of like grown ass men who are going to be like, shut up. What is wrong with you? Calm down. Stop throwing things. Which
one of you? You don't want to play the Duke? Which one of you? Like,
yeah. I mean, like he's going to just start screaming and losing his mind.
Want to play with Grant Hill?
Man, look, he doesn't like to lose. When you go to the NBA, you're going to lose.
You're going to
lose.
You're going to lose a lot.
If you have a great year, you're going to lose 20 games.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he didn't lose 20 games in
5 years,
3 years. It's hard for guys to learn that stuff. And then I don't even know if they're going to listen. I don't know. It doesn't, to me, that just doesn't make any sense. Like there are much more relatable candidates that to me would make a lot of sense for the Lakers at this point rather than going this route. But they always got to be a little extra, man. Lakers always got to be, they're like that social media person that likes to, see themselves out there, man. They got the camera, they got the selfie. Yeah. We're gonna hire a coach. Like, man, it's all me, man. We can't do enough, man.
The Lakers
look on yesterday, game one. Yesterday's game one of the NBA Finals, a really anticipated NBA Finals. Mavs, Celtics. You got great storylines. You got all these dudes, Jason Tatum. You got Luka, Kyrie. And what are we talking about? You're talking about the Lakers. That they just are attention seeking, man. It's attention seeking behavior.
LeBron talking about how he hates he's not playing with Kyrie no more and all that type.
Yeah, come on. Stop. Who cares? I don't care.
Yeah.
Just quit being weird.
Yeah.
The Lakers have allowed themselves to be influenced by the Hollywood culture of typecasting certain roles, right? Like going out and getting, what's that whole language about, why do you go get somebody who's not gay to play a gay role, right? And it's like they go out and they allow, we think he should be good at coaching basketball, but do we really know? Like, is he really a
LeBron
coach?
ain't got no other friends that
he ain't got no right? Like it's that
What's
they've allowed
that
we can turn this guy from a podcaster to a coach, and it's like, what are we talking about?
It's like they're trying to do Pat Riley all over again.
Yeah.
Like we saw winning time, man.
Just hire a coach.
Just hire a coach.
Just hire a coach. There's lots of coaches. There's like hundreds of coaches out there.
A lot of Hollins was on there yesterday. You just saw your bench a few years ago.
Why is it got to be? And then, I mean, you got a veteran team, man. Why would you even? That's just stupid. Like I just don't even. And I mean, look, obviously LeBron's gonna have a huge, influence on whatever's gonna happen assuming he's coming back. Obviously their stars are going to play, but people underestimate, like we talked about last segment with Taylor Jenkins, man, the value of a coach is being a CEO, being a leader, being someone who can rally the culture. Is JJ Redick going to do that? Is Dan Hurley going to do that with the way he deals with people? I don't see it. I don't see it.
Do you think college coaches have an issue making that adjustment in the NBA just based off the two games being completely different? Like a head coach in college basketball, just the persona, what they have to do, the skill set is completely different. Even LeBron's talking about he runs good shit. Well, great, but it's in college where the game is completely different from the NBA. Like, and even in the sense of, you talk about him being a developmental guy. That's the way college coaches think, in my opinion, is they're thinking about developing young kids and turning them into, semi-decent basketball players. That's just not the way the NBA works, man.
What's really weird. And I haven't really thought about it like this until you were just talking, Kenny, is what we're seeing now is college coaches are having to become like NBA coaches, and NBA coaches are having to become like college coaches.
Right.
Because college coaches now are out acquiring talent, 1 year guys
with the biggest money.
He's having to do. You got to basically remake an entire roster. You got guys that are coming in 4 or 5 year veterans who know how to play the game and all this.
You got them for
so you're not talking about team building. You're talking about plugging dudes in. You're talking about your system, X's and O's, and you go out and you try to win a championship. You can't do that. You're not developing freshmen and all that stuff anymore. You're not doing that. Yeah. Meanwhile, the NBA, that's exactly what you're doing. That Mark Daniel and the Thunder are running a college program. You're bringing in freshmen and you're teaching them the art of the game and all this stuff. It's just
under culture. Yeah,
it's different. It's just things have been completely different. So to your point, Kenny, I think actually it's going to be, the transition's going to be different now, especially for younger college coaches. I think they'll be very well prepared to deal with whatever has to happen because they're dealing with a lot of NBA level cutthroat nature, and it's even harder because I mean it's free agency for everybody every year. If you want to be, there's no contracts or anything of that nature. So that's a huge thing. But look at like John Beilein was the last dude, coming off of, what happened at Michigan, great coach, all that was an absolute disaster in Cleveland. I mean, absolute disaster. You can go back and look at, the guys like Tim Floyd back in the day. I mean, it's hard to do. Not everybody's Larry Brown, where you can win a national championship at Kansas and then go and jump into the league and be okay. It's not 1988 anymore. I don't see the point in doing it that way when you have so many good there's tons of great assistants that are out there that could deserve their opportunity. There's tons of dudes that have proven it at various levels of professional coaching. It's just, to me, it just seems very silly. But that's the Lakers for you.
Yeah, and Dan Hurley is one of those guys who could have cemented a legacy, especially with NIL. Like he's really in a perfect situation. NIL, he's a great college coach. He could cement himself as being an all-time.
And man, what about those dudes? I mean, again, we talk about like NIL and paying players and all that stuff, and certainly we've made huge strides in the last couple of years and all that. But think about those guys that decided to come back to UConn, or the guys that have transferred over, and their coach, up and leaves in June. Now you scrambling. I mean, it's if you have any consideration for those guys, you wouldn't pull something like that. So again, it's just it's a different world. And I always remind people, man, look, if you're going to excuse a guy like Dan Hurley, ducking out, if this is indeed what happens, ducking out on guys, June 6th, 7th, 8th, whatever. I think you need to have a lot more appreciation for those players going through the stuff that they have to go through and giving them some slack.
Yeah, for sure. And with that being said, Peter, you talked about how Dan Hurley could very well leave the Lakers, leave his guys out hanging. That transitions perfectly to number 2, Kenny Stubblefield. Let's talk some Tiger basketball today. A report came out saying that if he was to do that, I think guys had 30 to 90 days or something like that. What was it, Kenny? Like the UConn guys, how long they have?
I actually don't know. Is it 30 days, Peter?
30 days.
Yeah.
So that's something that could definitely benefit you.
That's good. You talk about feeding frenzy. Oh my God.
God. Just poaching UConn's roster.
Let me go get Alex Carabin and call it a day, man.
Man.
Helicopters just coming into stores constantly. Got pennies ziplining down.
Right. I'm McClingan. Are you
sure? Oh, come on, let's go.
Tristan New, whatever his name is. Let me come in and get. Man, that'd be crazy.
Grabbing Alex like, all right, let's go, buddy. Let's go.
I still think, real quick on the Dan Hurley, I still think he's finessing the Lakers right now. I think he's finessing the UConn Husk. I think he's getting a contract, man.
Yeah, I think he's doing this to get the craziest contract in the history.
He's going to get a monster deal from UConn because they got the money.
Like, you know what? Y'all playing these players some crazy money. Let me widen the gap a little bit.
Yeah, but if he'd wanted to do that, why wouldn't he have leveraged like Kentucky? Kentucky's sitting there when Cal leaves. That's the highest paying place on planet Earth when it comes to college coaching. They could offer the sun and stars to Dan Hurley, and apparently he told them no without necessarily using it as leverage. I think if he was going to finesse, he would have done that then.
But he's an emotional dude. He's an emotional dude, and it literally was the day after the championship. And so I wonder if like giving him a chance to kind of decompress, the Lakers kind of were smart about it and said, "Hey, why don't you go take a break, go, sip some Mai Tais or something, and then we'll come back and talk." And now he's like, all right, let me finesse,
I could never see that for sure. But with the University of Memphis, the recruiting has kind of came to a standstill. You got the redraft or whatever, the guys who decided they were not going to stay in the draft, who all seem to be headed to other places. Kenny Stubblefield, we got one of the guys going to Arkansas. Can't remember the other kid, but Memphis is not on his list anymore. And your boy, Kalua, Jamaica, I want to take you. What's his name?
Kalua, the beach
Kokomo.
Boy. Yeah, Kokomo. Arthur Kokomo. Yeah. No, Arthur Kaluma. Arthur Kaluma.
Okay. It was feeling a little different a couple of days ago, man. It was feeling like he was a hard Tiger University of Memphis lean. I ain't heard nothing from this brother in a couple of days.
Hey, that's the way it works, man. He's pulling a Dan Hurley and leveraging some money. So what does he do? His agents put it out there. SMU's in a bidding war with Memphis, and so Memphis is like, "Oh, okay, cool. Let's go. We'll raise it up. Let's go get him." You know what I'm saying? So,
so you think he's a Memphis lean still?
Oh yeah. Well, Anthony,
I don't know, bro. You know, I got to ask you.
You put me in a tough position because there's things that I can't say that I want to say
on purpose.
But you pull it out of me, and
I'm be crying like a bitch up here.
Yeah,
Surely you could.
So David Jones was always the plan A for Penny Hardaway in the roster, right?
Mm-hmm.
David Jones was. And Penny had been saying for a long time, 70-30, he's coming back. That's what I'm feeling. Things went down. David Jones stayed in the draft. They had a backup plan. That backup plan stayed in Arkansas. All right. That backup plan stayed in Arkansas. From what I've been told is that he was given this kid was given an assurance that if David wasn't on the roster, that he would have a roster spot with the Tigers. With him going back to Arkansas, that tells me that Penny and the Memphis staff has shifted their focus to somebody else and have probably gotten a really hard commitment from that person. And so, because if it's still out there and the possibility of him being a Memphis Tiger, more than likely you would still have Trayvon Brazile on the as a target. I still think he's a hard Memphis lean. You know how Memphis fans are, man. Like they get all
any kind of
hot and bothered and agitated by any little rumor on Twitter. And what it basically was SMU fans came out and said, we're hearing that SMU is making a hard push for Arthur Kaluma. Oh no, SMU, this, that, and the third. And I don't see it. I don't buy it. I've not heard anything different. The fact that Arthur Kaluma, the Memphis is in the lead for Arthur Kaluma.
Yeah.
So
that was up, man. Well, that was up because Penny, you know, this is where he does his thing, man. He pulls recruits out of his ass, like for real. Man. And but as far as UConn, like we're joking, but could you see something coming off of their roster if Coach Hurley goes?
I don't think Memphis has. I think if you were to put some truth serum in some of the staff at Memphis, I think they would say it's either Arthur Kaluma or
nothing.
We're just going to stand pat, right? Like they've got 2 roster spots. Penny is notorious for keeping 1 roster spot available, which is how they ended up getting Naquan Tomlin last year on the roster halfway through the season. So right now,
look how that turned out.
Right. Well, Naquan turned out to be one of the better players.
He was good.
On the team,
he was good. It was just a chemistry meltdown.
Look, man. Hey.
Yeah.
Hey.
College basketball now is so difficult. I don't envy Penny one bit.
No, totally
you
agree.
bring in you can bring in dudes that are good players, but then they can tank the chemistry of your team very quickly.
Right.
And guys in college are, it's not as much as they're getting paid, they're still not professionals in the same way that pros are. You don't have a contract. That's one thing that I think would be interesting to take the next level of an NIL is.
I think that's coming. I think that's coming, Peter. I think that's
sign
coming.
a 2-year deal, sign a 3-year deal. Let's see how this really plays out.
The problem is that it's a lot of one of the things that you have in college basketball right now is a level of unprofessionalism in the agents that represent the players.
Because there's not really enough scrutiny and there's not everything's been done on the fly. To me, it's like you've taken a house and you've added 3 stories without any permits or anything else, and that thing's wobbling and all over the place, and it's going to fall down at some point. And right now people are taking advantage of it.
Yeah,
I agree with you that they have got to solidify. Here's the specific criteria. Agents in the NBA, you have to go through. You have to be certified. You have to go through
right.
All these things. It can be anybody right now in college. Anybody could be your rep. And
right now, Jenny from the block could be, your rep, and that's
your dad, your cousin, your whoever, just some rando, doesn't matter. And they got to get that sorted out, and then they got to figure out, is there a way contractually to make it a little more sustainable? Because I have no issue, man. Look, I have no issue with dudes doing whatever they're going to do. Like, to me, it's great. Like, get your money, get your thing. But it just means it's really unstable. Like, from a planning standpoint, how in the world are you supposed to plan for 2 years from now? Forget about it. You can't even plan for 2 months from now.
Right. And I honestly think the NCAA did that on purpose. I think that they were like, oh, you want this? Okay, hands off. We're going to let you blow this shit up.
Yeah.
That's kind of where it is right now. But I agree with you. I think it is very unstable, and if the standards about who represents players changes, then I think it becomes a much more sustainable solution for college sports in general. Yep.
Yeah. But Peter Edmiston, you will be extremely proud of me for this next topic, man. I became a mature man, man. I've grown. I've grown over the years. Kenny, that was a classic episode of the show where we were talking about the WNBA championships, and I was standing on my thoughts of how I thought about the WNBA, and I've never saw Peter Edmiston is disappointed in me with the takes I had, man. And I'm talking about the man was you could tell he was disappointed, right? And
I was.
And if you find those archives now, bro, I probably there'd be nobody celebrating my 100th episode, probably, because they went back and found my takes on the WNBA at the time. It wasn't Gilbert Arenas-esque, but it was tough for sure. But Peter Edmiston, I've converted. I'm not gonna say I'm a fan. I don't sit up and watch multiple games, or even watch whole games of anything. But I got my eye on the league, like most people are right now. And I think it's a very good product. I think they're very skilled ladies out there playing basketball who can do a lot of things that guys can't do. I think as far as just pure shot making and fundamentals of passing the ball and teamwork and playing together, those things are even better than the guys. You know what I mean? And I'll say this, like I say this all the time. If you're doing power rankings, it's NBA, WNBA, ladies college basketball, men's college basketball. I mean, the big three is probably above that in my eyes. I think the college basketball, watching some kid phenom from 99 on YouTube is probably better than watching men's college basketball.
The professor!
Yeah, exactly. And one street ball is probably got my eye more than that.
Wait.
Like what's the little kid that's like 5'6", the little kid.
Yeah.
He never grew. I rather watch that kid's highlights on YouTube than I rather watch him than watch men's college basketball. That shit is trash. But anyway, the WNBA.
What's your guy with the arm? What's
Oh, did you see about take on him? I'm probably going to hell for that too, man.
I'm sorry,
man. No dude with one arm.
Hansel Emmanuel.
Hansel Emmanuel can go to hell. Like, there's no way in the hell you're gonna have to clown me with one arm, bro. Like, I'm sitting on your good hand and I'm stealing the ball for you, bro. Like, you're not gonna sit here and clown me with one arm, bro. Like, no, I see that dude out there working dudes loud. No, I'm sitting on your right hand. If you go get out here with one arm, I'm gonna play you like you got two of them for sure. Now I'm gonna play you guys like you got one arm. I'm gonna take the ball from you. All right. Anyway, I'm trying not to go to hell. I just redeemed myself and went back to hell all in one.
You just want to see how much personal growth he'd really had.
Yeah, exactly. You're still the same person. All right, man. So the WNBA is definitely in the spotlight right now. The Caitlin Clark stuff is going crazy. These dastardly women are out headhunting Caitlin Clark. If you ask Gabe Kuhn and Christian Fowler, his regulations need to be made. Just this egregious foul and and because of that foul, Caitlin Clark
take her off the court.
Yeah, exactly, man. And because of that foul, Caitlin Clark only managed to have 3 points the next game. Imagine the trauma she was going through after getting pushed to the ground.
She's a damsel in distress.
Damsel in distress, man. Yeah, but with that being said, very unfortunate, very scary event happened last night. Chicago Sky players were the word they used was assaulted. I didn't see assault in the video, but I did see a very disturbing, very scary incident happen where someone who I'm assuming was a fan. I don't think this was Woj or I don't know if it's anybody that covers the. I don't know. I don't think it was anybody that covers the league that was at side of this bus, but they were confronted by someone who was asking questions and when are you going to apologize to Caitlin and all these type of things to different players, including my girl. What's Kennedy's last name?
Carter.
Yeah, Kennedy Carter. The way she spells Kennedy is pretty dope too. Anyway, the players are getting approached. Security had to get in this guy's face and keep him away from the ladies. I just think there's certain events in time, and we're gonna talk about another one in the last segment of the show. It just kind of show you how screwed up this country is, bro. Like, and the things that we use to mask something else. Like, you know what I mean? And it's like you have people say, and I had this conversation and I stood on it, and people were saying, well, does she get the attention she gets because she's white? No. And were there other white stars in the WNBA before her? Yeah. So there's some beasts in the WNBA right now that are white, But you know, I talked about how it's a perfect storm of things that have led to her rise, and being white ain't hurting. You know what I mean? Like I ain't saying it's the reason, but it definitely ain't hurting. You know what I mean? The fact that she's a white lady in the league that's you know, mostly full of black ladies or whatever. And I think that some of the things that Angel Reese is saying is true as well. That the incident, you know, the You Can't See Me incident sparked a lot of casual people like myself to watching this. When I saw this, you know, black girl with long hair and lashes and talking shit, and I was like, oh, who the hell is this? like this girl looks like like I saw her at the D&D, you know what I mean? Or wherever the club is these days, like, you know what I mean? But
Bianca Belair out here.
Yeah, exactly. Freaking Bianca Belair hooping out here, you know what I mean? When this girl, and it was wild. And it probably looked like what Larry Bird and Magic Johnson looked like when they first came to the WNBA. I mean, to the NBA. So, like I said, man, scary incident. And like I said, things like that kind of show you we just live in weird ass times, bro. And I had a guy trying to go back and forth me back on Twitter. I let him get his shit off about 3 tweets, blocked him, kept it moving. Not because of nothing he said disrespectful to me, but it's just a certain level of ignorance. I can't tolerate it. Like, if we're going to talk sports, let's talk sports, but let's not act like it's okay for just some dude to be waiting outside these ladies' bus with a camera and walking up on them with anything in their face. Peter, you know, this type of stuff we would just get off on back in the day. So what are your thoughts on what you saw last night? And
man,
like,
is
it going to get better or is it going to get worse, man?
Well, I mean,
because you know people love to hide behind.
Get better. I'm not sure how it's going to get better.
Yeah,
and I hate to say that, but that's just the way it is. But the truth is that sports are a way, and you notice for the most part, it's men doing this.
Yeah,
you know, men have sort of parachuted into the WNBA fandom, and you know, poison the water here with a bunch of nonsense. Men in particular, adult men, whether you're white, black, Hispanic, whatever, we as a group don't do a good job of dealing with our emotions. We don't do a good job of being able to articulate properly what's going on with us.
Right.
You know, there are a lot of things that happen in your daily life that are difficult. You may have trouble at home. You may have trouble with your wife, with your family. You may have trouble at work. You may have money issues. There's all sorts of things that cause you tremendous stress. And men don't have a great history of going to therapy or finding someone to help just kind of talk about this problem with. Instead, they go to a sporting event and act like a jackass. And that's how you get out when you're yelling at a referee and you see we've all been there where you've seen some maniac that's in your section that's absolutely lost his mind, screaming, and everyone's like, what is that guy screaming at his wife? That guy's screaming at his boss.
Wow.
Now, that person just happens to be in the form of a referee or another player, but in reality, he's screaming at that person. And this is the same exact thing. This guy is not well mentally. And it's unfortunate that the Chicago Sky players were the ones that had to deal with the brunt of this guy's mental illness that's been undiagnosed. But you got to take better care of yourself and quit having everyone else around the world be the unwitting victims of your inability to control yourself mentally. Right. That kind of stuff does not fly. And it's the same thing when it comes to this discussion around Caitlin Clark. People's, let's say, hidden views tend to kind of slide out in the midst of these discussions. You know, there's the old saying, in vino veritas, that means in wine there is truth. You know, people get a little drunk and they kind of, you know, I would say it in sports veritas. Like sometimes people, their real truth, they might not say it out loud and they might not say it in other certain situations, but for whatever reason, this allows them the framework to let their racial views kind of slide in there. You kind of just, wait a second. There's a black woman who knocked over a white. This is a outrageous assault. Meanwhile, like, I mean, you know, this is, that was definitely not a basketball play. Should have been flagrant. I'm of the opinion that Caitlin Clark's teammates were the ones that should have, you know, policed that whole thing. Like, where were they? I mean, he's knocked down and everyone just walking around like nothing happened. Like, no, go over there and help your girl. If she's your teammate, Go in there and I mean, you're not going to look at what Steven Adams did back in the day, lifting a dude, going after John Moran, lifting him and walking him over. That's what a teammate does.
Right.
Nobody did that for Caitlin Clark and left her. Now, whether that means she's not liked in the locker room or I don't know, but it was pretty apparent. It was pretty obvious that nobody was there to really help her. I don't blame Kennedy Carter for being unhappy with the coverage and all that stuff. I mean, she's a athletes are crazy people, man.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever talked to athletes? They're not mentally well. We talk about being mentally. These people, Michael Jordan was an insane person. He's a sociopath. I mean, this dude had one thing on his mind. He invented a story about a rookie. He invented a guy just so he could go and drop 45 on the guy, just to motivate him. So he made up something the guy said that he never said. And ruined this guy's life for it. She's an athlete. She's a high-level athlete. So, yeah, she's kind of crazy. And, yeah, she's going to do some dumb stuff. And, yeah, she's going to try to gain an advantage and try to intimidate.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with her race and all that. The reaction has everything to do with race.
Oh, for sure.
But her doing that, she would do that whether Caitlin Clark was white, black, whatever. Doesn't matter. To me, it's very clear that people's racial motivations are sliding out. The white woman who looks, let's also take into account looking feminine, because a lot of WNBA players don't necessarly look feminine or may identify as gender fluid or may
and they'll stand out in defense of things like black people
exactly right. Whether they're lesbian or whether they're bisexual or whatever it may be. Like the fact that Caitlin Clark is I think she's heterosexual. I don't honestly
know. Heterosexual,
yeah. But she's like kind of a traditional looking white female. Like that means a lot in terms of people being willing to take her side. Yeah. And look at Brittany Griner. Brittany Griner is like, what a horrible thing that happened to her. She ends up getting imprisoned for almost a year for
in a foreign country,
minor drug paraphernalia. And you still had a bunch of people that weren't even that.
Her own coach. Her own coach.
Her own coach is like, like this is the way she looks, who she is, the kind of stuff that she supports. Don't get it twisted. That's more important, and that's in a lot of people's eyes, that's more important than anything else. I mean, there should have been no doubt you want her to come home, but some people, maybe not.
Yeah, for sure, man. That was good stuff, man. I ain't got nothing to say on that. You sealed it all up for sure, man. But like I said, Brittany Griner was not allowed to smoke marijuana in Russia. But our good friends at Create A Cig, who sponsor Inside the Same Brain, it's coming up next on the Anthony Sain Show. We'll talk about that and more. We'll see you guys in a minute.
Big Ten is already in 4 time zones. The ACC's, kind of on the brink of, some people would say, self-destructing. Florida State, perhaps Clemson are going to leave. How can they fix that? How can they save themselves? They got weird and went out and added Cal and Stanford. One team that benefits from all of this, and that's the Memphis Tigers. Because if Utah leads the Big 12, they're going to have an open spot.
Spots are open. And Timothy, that's what I was going to ask you. When NCAA Football 25 comes out and they have conference realignment as an option in gameplay, what conference are you immediately putting Memphis in?
No, I'm tired of being the Big 12's booty call. They always like to just dangle the carrot in front of us and we come out crawling after it. And then they're like, they just pull back every time. I'm tired of it, dude. I'm tired of it.
Tune in to Tigers Untapped with TJ Willis and Trey Lasley every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the Bluff City. At Create A Cig, our top priority is to provide the best customer service experiences possible while offering the largest variety of vape supplies, legal THC products, and smoking accessories. Our trained sales associates are here to assist any and all customers to help them find the best products available. With our daily deals, weekend deals, loyalty rewards program, and our punch card program, there are tons of rewards to earn to help our customers save plenty of money along the way. This area and come visit us.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Anthony Sain Show. Final segment of the show. Got my guy Peter Edmiston with me, man. Peter, this is the kind of stuff, man. We be in our bag on this type of shit, man. Inside the Same Brain, sponsored by our good friends at Create A Cig. 4 area locations for you guys. You might see me pull up at the joint on 10 North McLean Boulevard, man. You might see Kenny at the joint out there in Collierville on New by Hellier Road. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if Peter get down or not. He do it like a smoke. I ain't gonna lie. I think my boy.
Hey man, look, you know, I don't, but I support your willingness to do so, and I'm glad the people at Create A Cig are helping out because they obviously got good taste in programming for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. You can get, but guess what, Peter? If you're not a Delta 8 user like myself, you can get the nicotine packs as well, man. We got the Saint Asylum pack for you in 2 different ways. We got the nicotine pack. It comes with any Wave Bar 10K, any Ursa Nano Kit, any 60 milliliter Theory or 30 milliliter Salt Nick Juice, or you can slide over get the Delta 8 pack, which comes with any pre-roll, any disposable Delta 8 cartridge, or you can get, and it comes with a bag of gummies of your choice. I like them joints you see on the screen, them pastel cartel joints. The great flavor to be exact. You know I'm black, so we love.
What's a liquid batter? What's that all about?
What you talking about?
This is liquid batter. Is that right? Liquid batter? Am I looking at that right?
What's that?
What's that?
That's a
disposable Delta 8 product. Yeah, it's a vape product that was
disposable jump. When you hit it, when you do it, you throw it away. But yeah, good stuff, man. Can't ever tell you about those gummies, man. Get you right, Peter Edmiston. Get you right for sure. Go check it out, man. Go do what you gotta do. They'll show you love when you come in there. The staff just, man, every time I come in, they know me. They know me by name. They know everybody by name who comes in. They know what you're probably looking for. They'll show you new stuff when you come in. They'll take you by the hand, man. If you're not a Delta 8 user or a nicotine user, they'll get you what you need to get. Create A Cig, man. Go check them out for sure. And there's a brother, man, who I know for sure. If he had just hit him a little something, Kenny, just a quarter of a gummy, one of them pastel.
He needed
cartels.
one of them pastel cartels, man.
He probably would have been straight, man. He probably was on some. I don't know what is going on there, brother, but if he had just took something mellow out, he probably would have brought his dumb ass up on stage at a graduation, man. At his daughter's graduation.
Oh my God.
And intercept his daughter shaking hands with the black superintendent of the school system. Walked up on the man, hey, this is my daughter.
And here's the crazy part. Like, it's coming out today. People are saying, oh, well, he was upset about some bullying incident and the way that it was handled. No, there is a microphone that picked him up saying, I don't want her touching him. Like on the stage, he said, I don't want her touching him. So all this like going back and saying, no, it's because there was some bullying situation, whatever. That's why he did it now, bro.
Stop it. Stop the madness. Like I said, man, sometimes you get reminded of how screwed up this country is and just how screwed up the hearts of man they are, man. Like, this is crazy, bro. Like, this man is a superintendent of the school system, which means he's got somebody's college degree, he's educated, he's respected. He was voted amongst his peers to have this position. And you bring your crazy, dumb ass up on stage and put your hands on this dude. And that brother went from professional to hood real quick.
Yes, man. Get your hands off me, bro. Get your hands off me, bro.
I mean, it doesn't, to me, whether he's, supremely well-educated
or not,
master's degree, or he's.
I'm just saying, who are you, man, to bring your goofy ass on stage like your daughter can't touch this dude's hand?
Your daughter can shake hands with whoever she wants to. Like, what are you doing? What
did you see her face? Did you see her face?
Oh,
extremely. Oh my God! Like,
but truly, like, think about the selfishness of that act.
Oh.
I mean, obviously the guy's a crazy racist, but then to ruin his daughter, he couldn't just put it aside for 15 seconds while she walked across the stage, shook some hands, and then got back and sat back down. He couldn't do that. He couldn't even give his daughter the 15 seconds that she'd earned for 12 years. There's no. And he's, in addition to being a ridiculous, virulent racist, he's also a selfish, piece of garbage. Like, no. And I mean, the thing is, I hope people understand, like, I don't think anyone could ever condone anything like that. But I think it's important for people to realize that stuff is still just, one or 2 seconds from happening to any Black person that's out there. Like, it sucks, because that's something that you have to now kind of put into your file cabinet of,
right,
consider if that's going to happen. Like, I gotta consider if these things are going to happen. Right. And it's a lot of the mental gymnastics, that Black folks have to do that I don't have to do, or that Kenny doesn't have to do.
Right.
It adds to, the stress level, high blood pressure, all these things that go into it, because you're constantly on guard
and to deal with this nonsense, man.
I remember of a guy that a guy that I knew, that I worked with a while back, and this dude, doesn't matter, but he's married to a white lady. They got three kids. Just the nicest, most like relaxed dude you can imagine. He was in the midst of all the stuff that was going on after George Floyd and all the various deaths and things that were going on at that time. He was actually at a convenience store. He said he was going to walk over to the police and just say, hey, I appreciate the job you're doing. I know it's hard, and just kind of give them like a handshake and support. And he said, I had to stop myself. I couldn't do it because I wasn't sure how they were going to respond.
Right.
I wasn't sure what they were, when they see this Black guy walking up to them, what are they going to do? Now,
me and you don't have to worry about that.
That's not a consideration that a lot of us, in the white community have to deal with. But it is a consideration that has to go on. And now you have to file this, as silly and stupid and ridiculous as this racist guy at the graduation. Now you got to file that away. So am I just going to, the superintendent just going to be like, man, like the mayor of Memphis, Paul Young, is going to be like, hey, I'm just walking around, and like all of a sudden some rando is going to you just have to, it doesn't matter how much esteem or whatever you have, man. Racism is,
oh man, alive and well.
And I think my one of the takeaways I took from it was seeing the video of that guy. One of the topics that, especially in the white community, Anthony, that you hear all the time is, man, it's my grandparents' generation, it's my parents' generation, like that. Once they're gone, then things will change. You look at that and you go, that dude's my age, bro.
Yeah, that dude's all right. Yeah,
like that dude's my age. And it's like it kind of reinvigorated this idea of, when you see it so blatantly obvious what's happening on camera, you see it and you know what's going on, and it's a guy that's your age, it's in my generation. You just go, we can't relax on this, right? Like we can say that dude's silly and that dude's a dumbass and did what he did and ruined his daughter's graduation, but at the same time, it's like not even just being like not condoning that, but being anti that. Like, how do we fight that, right? Like in our generation, because
you can't passively not be racism.
You can't passively. You got to be anti that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Peter, I've always found a way to find race, to make racism funny, man. So I just picture this guy, old Jasper, right? Just reading the program. Like, I'm a parent who, like, I don't know who anybody is at Gabe's school. Like, I think I know his teacher's name, but I don't know anybody at the school, right? So I can very well go to the graduation and be totally surprised about who's on stage, right? So I see this man like, wait a minute here. I'm reading this program here, and I see Billy Joe Jackson. I'm thinking, I look up and I see this monkey in a suit. I'm like, what the hell going on?
You never told me that.
You never told me that.
You never told me that.
His name is what? His name is Michael. His name is
Billy Joe Jackson. I thought it was one of the brothers.
Like that story that Nolan Richardson tells about listening to the radio when Larry Bird was playing. He's like, man, that brother could play. And he saw Larry Bird. He's like, what?
Oh, man.
Jasper
was mad as hell. I've seen enough. I thought that boy was hired help. I didn't think he was. I saw that monkey in the suit. I didn't know what. I thought he was going to entertain us. I was going to go there and start tap dancing. I didn't know what this was.
Man, as long like I thought for the longest time I thought Tulane football coach Willie Fritz was black. I was like, oh, that's got to be a black guy. Nope. Willie Fritz? You tell me Willie Fritz is an old white guy?
Yeah, man. It's somebody right now. I did not know.
Hey, what about the legendary one? The most legendary one.
The most legendary of all time. Hey, I had to reach out to people about being sponsored. Tawanda and Cordell Pirtle.
Tawanda Pirtle, Jack
Pirtle chicken.
Old white couple.
No way.
You didn't know that?
No
you know that, Kenny?
way.
Look up Tawanda Pirtle and Cordell
Pirtle. White people.
Cordell and Tawanda Pirtle, who own the chicken company.
There's no way that's their name, bro. They would have finessed and said, hey, we're going to get our names legally changed to the blackest names possible.
Oh, my God.
There's no way we can sell chicken in the hood and have people think that we're white. We literally have to change our names.
My name, her name was Betty. Now it's Tawanda. Wow.
Oh,
Cordell and Tawanda.
That's just you can't
we talked about this on the show too, man. Like, how did they find each other? Like when they met, it's okay. We have to get married and start a chicken franchise. Like there's no way we can do.
That's fate.
Yeah. It was fate, man.
That's fate right there. I think it's
we had to get married.
That is
That's beautiful, man. That's a beautiful story of how we can all come together, regardless of our stereotypes.
In the name of chicken and gravy,
might imply.
Yeah,
and dope ass biscuits, man.
Who you talking about?
And gravy that you could spackle a house with.
Drop anything. Their ketchup has dust on the box, man. Nobody asks for ketchup in purple.
Man, that gravy you could use it to just like when you're putting bricks together. That gravy will serve perfectly as you could just
eat it. Wow, you get the overage, just lick it off, man.
Man, that's thicker than us. You want thicker than a biscuit? Thicker than a Snicker? No, thicker than Pirtle gravy.
Real quick though, Peter Edmiston, you've been great, man. Man, it's great to have you on me today. Speaking of thicker than the biscuit, were you able to check out Meg Thee Stallion, who I know is your favorite? Were you?
No, they had unfortunately they had put out the alert already on me.
Look out for this white guy.
I cannot I legally cannot get within 100 feet of Megan Thee Stallion.
Hey, can you imagine how ridiculous Peter would look at a Meg Thee Stallion like, who is this creepy motherfucker?
Hey, are you Peter's he channels the rock. He channels the rock when it comes to Meg Thee Stallion.
I mean, I do have a type.
Oh, he does.
There's no question about that.
Hey, we would send Peter random like videos or pictures of Meg like doing the commercial break, and Peter come back red as a beet.
I'm like,
don't
I'm distracted here. Sorry, guys.
Oh man, can you imagine Peter sitting like in row 3, looking like a creepy ass, creepy ass white man. Mouth moving and shit. But ain't saying
ain't no words coming out.
It's a hot girl summer. It's a hot girl summer.
Food and shit.
I think you dropped something. Let's go.
Over nasty, bro.
Drop it.
But Peter's been a blast, man.
Drop it right here.
Nobody
in this
else.
region here. Just drop it.
Oh man, I can't think of nobody else. I would have had to do 100 with my brother, man. I appreciate you, man. Like I said, man, we had a great time doing what we were doing.
You're the best, Kenny. You're doing a great job. Y'all are doing a great job. I am a fan. I like I said, man, I like watching. I'm just kind of out here, just kind of doing my thing. But when I was invited, when Sain put out the Pete signal, and it was up there, I saw my little curly hair kind of thing in the little shadows. I said, man, I gotta respond. He's put the signal out. I gotta get up there. I gotta do it.
Boy, man,
you gotta do it.
And I've had a lot of fun doing it. So,
for sure, man. But I tell you
hopefully,
what, man.
maybe it won't be like another 100. Maybe I can do it for maybe we can do it for 150 or 125 or something like that.
Something like that, man.
Peter, this is on you, man. You make the call, bro. We got you. You're on. You got an open invitation to anything.
Man. Peter's a soccer guy too, man. We better get him on the 901 Soccer podcast, man.
Oh yeah, now.
Peter Edmiston.
Peter Edmiston. I can't wait for those questions. I'm very excited.
Well known soccer guy.
What's that? Hands. You can't use that's weird, right?
Is Greg Berhalter a criminal?
Yeah.
What is he? A war criminal? Is he a war criminal? That's Lawrence's favorite thing to say. Is he a war criminal?
If you ask, Lawrence will tell you. I think Lawrence will.
Peter, you have to agree with me that 901 FC is the brokest organization you probably ever seen. I cut on the water and dust came out of it.
Lawrence crack every time when I go. I do I do play-by-play for them and commentary periodically. I see Lawrence up there all the time, and it is hilarious. Like,
he's a
well, they did it again, didn't they? Okay, all right. What happened now? Okay, all right. All
Man,
right.
can I be honest with you? We've had more phone calls from that organization about him than any other content creator on this.
More than me, bro.
More than Anthony.
University of Memphis, don't you call about me like they call about Doctor.
Hey, man, we're going to have to figure out Lawrence.
He did it again.
Can you tell that guy to stop?
Yeah.
Shout out Lawrence.
I know Memphis is a poor city, but damn it. I mean, can we get more people? Can you brokies come to these? Can you come?
He's like Shooter McGavin from Happy Gilmore.
Right. I know people are breaking in the cars. I know people are breaking in the cars, and I know you still smell twerk air from Meg Thee Stallion and Glorilla. But hey, can you guys just get your ass up? Can somebody come? I know the twerk air is heinous in downtown. But my man Peter Edmiston, man. But my boy Kenny Stubblefield. Thank y'all for rocking with us, man. For rocking with me, man. Yeah. Thank y'all for rocking with me for 100 episodes, man. We got many more to come. We'll see you guys next week, and we out.
Thank you for listening to the Anthony Sain Show. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. For comprehensive coverage of Memphis sports, head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co and find out how you can become an insider. We will see you back here next week.